Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use, tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, so this is from Office of Victims and Crime. This is just for informational purposes. I'm going to read this again because it's important. Information about victims' rights. Many people in human trafficking situations don't seek help because they don't know their rights. However, all people in the United States, regardless of immigration status, have rights and are protected by our laws. No one can force you to work against your will. Collect a debt by using threats or forcing you to work to pay the debt. Force you to work using threats to harm you or your family. Force or pressure you into prostitution or to do other sex acts. Use you for any kind of sex work if you are under 18. It's the same for over 18. Take away your passport. Look at that. Take away your passport, like locking them up, birth certificate, or identification card to control you or your movements. Several immigration options were specifically created for trafficking victims, such as continued presence and the T visa, and options for crime victims of trafficking, including the U visa, and special immigrant juvenile status. Like I said, this is just for information. I don't trust a lot of these agencies or people working for these agencies. However, there are some people that are going to help, so I can't make a blanket statement. To learn more, visit the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, Department of Homeland Security, Resources for Victims of Human Trafficking and Other Crimes. I'm going to click on that. Resources for Victims of Human Trafficking and Other Crimes. We offer resources for victims of human trafficking and other crimes and the organizations that serve them. If you or your family has any questions about obtaining T or U non-immigrant status, please see the resources below for answers. Okay, I'm just going to click on this. Questions and answers, victims of human trafficking, T non-immigrant status. T non-immigrant status, also called a T visa, is available to non-citizens who are or were victims of a severe form of trafficking. See, that's the catch right there. Who's going to label it as trafficking? All of us know that what's going on in Scientology is trafficking. Everyone knows that. They hit the check boxes for every single thing. In persons and help law enforcement, yeah, we could trust them. In the detection, investigation, or prosecution of acts of trafficking. Below are questions and answers about T, non-immigrant status. I personally would just rather hear like a real life story. Talk is cheap. Background. In October 2000, Congress created T non-immigrant status by passing the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, TVPA, part of the Victims of Trafficking and Violence Protection Act of 2000. The TVPA strengthens the ability of law enforcement. Well, that's when they decide to do their jobs. Agencies, another agency, to investigate and prosecute human trafficking. Well, what about if they're getting paid by the traffickers? What about that? It also offers immigration protection. What kind of protection would that be? To non-citizen victims. I'm just reading this for entertainment and information. Don't take it too seriously. It's just information. What is human trafficking? Human trafficking, also known as trafficking in persons, is a crime in which traffickers, like religions, use force, fraud, and coercion to compel forced labor, especially of children, or a commercial sex act, which means that someone is paying for you to perform acts on them, or when a victim induced to perform commercial sex is under age 18. They don't believe in that. Children are adults in small bodies there. The T visa allows victims to remain in the United States to heal, stabilize, and assist law enforcement. Where are the law enforcement officers that are actually taking down traffickers? And we know it's very complicated, so I'm not going to put all of them down. But I just want to know, where are they? In the detection, investigation, and prosecution, actually, I want to see a real prosecuted case. And you guys know what's up. A lot of it is just for show. Under federal law, the term severe forms of trafficking in persons. Oh, this is going to be the good one right here. I just can't wait. It's going to be the loophole. Watch, you guys. It's going to be the loophole. Into two categories. Sex trafficking, recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, or obtaining of a person for the purpose of commercial sex act, where the commercial sex act is induced by force, fraud, or coercion, or the person being induced to perform such act is under 18 years of age. And just imagine that those prison guards were doing that to the female prisoners. You know, the one that I read earlier? So who are you going to trust? Labor trafficking, recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, or obtaining of a person for labor or services through the use of force, Scientology, fraud, Scientology, or coercion, Scientology, for the purpose of involuntary servitude, Scientology, peonage, debt, bondage, or slavery, Scientology. Jehovah's Witnesses do it as well. Scientology just does better, unfortunately. Oh, look at this. This is crazy. Do federal laws prohibit trafficking in persons? Wow, check it out, you guys. They actually do, yes. That's the 13th Amendment. See, I'm getting schooled. I've heard of the 13th Amendment, but I'm getting more familiar with it. I'm trying to think of the name of that. The City Council of LA. That's what I was trying to think of. They don't seem to be familiar with that one. It outlaws slavery and involuntary servitude, holding another in service through force of or threats of force. LAPD, check that out. How crazy is that? You guys need to get familiar with the 13th Amendment. The TVPA supplements existing laws that apply to human trafficking, including those passed to enforce the 13th Amendment. The TVPA also established tools and resources to combat trafficking in persons and provide an array of services and protections for victims of severe forms of trafficking in persons. I mean, it looks great in black and white, doesn't it? It looks really great. You guys remember I told you go check out Kathy Groves, or now she's known as Dylan Groves. She talked about what happens when you see these news stories of alleged traffickers getting busted. They use somebody as a sacrificial lamb, and then they sent the children right back to where they were before to be sex trafficked. Facts. What should I do if I believe I am a victim of trafficking? If you believe you are or have been a victim of trafficking, you should try to contact law enforcement. Not always. You know, a lot of the police officers will help you. I will say that. But like in the case of the LAPD with the Scientologists, that's obviously, they would never want to contact them, especially the children. To report suspected human trafficking, and receive support and services to get help and information on how to stay safe. I don't know. I'm just going to read it. I'm not endorsing it because I heard that that's a lot of how they get you back. Call 888-373-7888. What's with the 8s, guys? You guys know what's up. You know what's up. You know what's up. You know what's up. You know what's up. This is a national toll-free hotline available to answer calls from anywhere in the United States, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in more than 200 languages. See? The hotline is operated by Polaris. I've heard that before. A non-profit, non-governmental organization. You guys know I have to go look it up, right? Hold on. Okay, you guys, this comes from Artificial Intelligence. I believe it's the same company. So, and I also think Polaris has like some type of occultic symbology. I'm pretty sure it does. Polaris is a company that designs, engineers, and manufactures off-road and on-road vehicles and related parts and accessories. Snowmobiles, all-terrain vehicles, side-by-side vehicles, motorcycles, boats, quadricycles, moto roadsters, military, and commercial off-road vehicles. Okay. So the hotline is operated by Polaris, someone, a company that develops vehicles. I was looking to see if they were a company that developed 18-wheeler trucks, but I didn't see that. Call the Homeland Security Investigation tip line at 866-347, there's that number again, 2423, or submit a tip online at icegov.tips, ice.gov.tips. To contact the ICE HSI special agent and victim assistance specialist in your area to report tips. Highly trained law enforcement specialists are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't do any good work, but how is Scientology still running? You know what I mean? Like Scientology, Jehovah's Witness, Mormons, all these places that openly traffic children. You can report an anonymous tip on the online form or via the toll-free tip line. You know they can trace the calls. You guys know it. You guys know. That's why I'm saying this is for information purposes only. Many social service groups and non-governmental organizations may also be able to help victims. Explore immigration options. I say get a good immigration lawyer. Available to trafficking victims with a legal services provider or non-governmental organization. What forms of immigration relief are available to victims of trafficking? Victims of trafficking who meet certain requirements are eligible for a T visa. I'll bet they put them through you know what to get this T visa. You guys know. You guys know. Provides immigration status to non-citizen victims. And I believe they're going to make it real difficult for someone to prove that they're a victim. That's what I believe. And of course, they do have to be careful of fraud. I understand that. Provides immigration status to non-citizen victims and allows them to remain in the United States to assist in the detection, investigation, or prosecution of acts of trafficking. After receiving a T visa, victims may be eligible for permanent residence, which I believe permanent residence is the green card. You guys seeing why there are all those child marriages in Scientology? That's part of it, I think. And also to control. If they have been continuously physically present in the United States for 3 years after they were first lawfully admitted as a T non-immigrant. What about the R1 visa? Or if they have been continuously physically present in the United States during the investigation or prosecution. So that means, so it's going to lie on the case being prosecuted. You guys know, you guys know. Look at that. They make people jump through hoops. I'm going to say this once and I'm not going to say it again because they make money off it. That's it. Facts. Facts. Another form of immigration relief available to victims of human trafficking is a U visa. U visas are granted to people who have suffered substantial physical or mental abuse. I want to see people who have actually gotten this as a result of being a victim of certain qualifying criminal activity, including human trafficking. But I mean, look at what we're seeing now. Who wants to even deem things human trafficking? It's all in everybody's face. You can see it. You can outline it. You can have diagrams. You can have videos. You can have pictures. You can have right in front of a police officer's face trafficking, and nobody does anything. Victims of trafficking may also qualify for temporary immigration designation, continued presence. For more information about continued presence, see Continued Presence Resource Guide. Okay, at least this is informative. What are the requirements for T non-immigrant status? To qualify for T non-immigrant status, you must show that you are or were a victim of a severe form of trafficking in persons. What's this word, the severe? You mean like hauled in a cattle truck with your hands and feet tied behind your back? Are physically present in the United States, America, Samoa, or the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, or at a port of entry because you were trafficked. Have complied with any reasonable request. Oh, here we go, you guys. You know, I'm gonna stay chill. Today it's Om Shanti Shanti. Have complied with any reasonable request from a law enforcement agency for assistance in the detection, investigation, or prosecution of human trafficking, or qualify for an exemption or exception. So you got to be like kind of in a way a snitch. But I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it, but I understand why you need to be helping with the investigation if there is one. But everybody knows what these traffickers do to the victims. Everybody knows this. Would suffer extreme hardship involving unusual and severe harm. Facts. How are you going to prove that? Would suffer extreme hardship involving unusual and severe harm if you were removed from the United States. I got so many thoughts on this. If you were under the age of 18 when at least one of the acts of trafficking occurred, or if you cannot cooperate with a law enforcement request due to physical or psychological trauma, you may qualify for T, non-immigrant status, without complying with a request to assist law enforcement. That might put a mark on your back. You guys get it? You must also be admissible to the United States or obtain a waiver of all relevant grounds of inadmissibility. What a web we weave here. Do I have to pay to apply for the T visa? No. All T non-immigrant status applications are free, exempt, including all associated forms. Until you adjust your status, get a green card. After you get a green card, you may submit a request for fee waiver form, I-912, or include your own written request for a fee waiver with your application or petition. For all other forms, such as Form N-400, application for naturalization. You can find additional filing fee information by visiting Fee Schedule Form G1055 page. Can my family members also obtain T non-immigrant status? I don't want to give false hope, you guys. So that's why I keep saying this is for informative purposes only. I haven't met anyone who's done this. I don't know anyone who's done this. You know, reading black and white words, it's just great and happy and everything. But I would want to see if this was, you know, really a possibility. Yes, certain family members are eligible for derivative T non-immigrant status. Regardless of your age, you may apply for the following family members if they are in present danger of retaliation as a result of your escape from trafficking or cooperation with law enforcement. Do you guys see now the obsession that Scientology has with bringing immigrants from war-torn or poverty-stricken countries? You guys see what it is now? Your parents, your unmarried siblings under 18 years of age. See, there's a reason they're not including married people. The children of any age or marital status of your eligible family members who have been granted derivative T non-immigrant status. If your family members are not in present danger of retaliation. And you guys know who's gonna... So for one, we're talking about a lot of people that are really in poverty. And that's how they keep people trapped. So how is somebody going to prove present danger of retaliation? And what officer is going to take the claim? Is he or she going to listen, or are they going to like just blow it off? I mean, that's where I'm at. Then follow the guidelines in the chart below. If you are under 21 years old, then you may apply for your spouse, unmarried children who are under 21 years old, parents, or unmarried siblings who are under 18 years old. If you are 21 years or older, then you may apply for your spouse or unmarried children who are under 21 years old. How many T visas can be granted each year? I told you guys there was something coming. Congress has limited the number of T non-immigrant visas available to principal victims of trafficking to 5,000 visas. It's a wrap. It's a wrap, you guys. I knew something was coming. I don't trust anybody anymore. So all these poor people that have gotten tricked into coming to the United States. I mean, come on, really? 5,000 people? Seriously. Can I legally work in the United States if I have a T non-immigrant status? Yes. Okay, I'm going to skip. I don't want to read the whole thing. How long am I allowed to stay in the United States with T non-immigrant status? It's valid for up to 4 years. Yeah, I'm just thinking, I'm not an expert, but I would say just apply for the permanent resident status. But maybe you have to have like a certain kind of, when they say T non-immigrant status, does that mean visa? How can I apply for permanent resident status? A green card. You may apply for permanent resident status by submitting Form 1-485, application to register permanent residence, or adjust status. They sure do let the kids in real fast with R1 visas, though, don't they? Huh. To qualify for permanent resident status, you must be physically present in the United States for either a continuous period of at least 3 years in T non-immigrant status or a continuous period during the investigation of prosecution. There's other ways. I wish that there were more ex-Scientologists from other countries that would come out and help people, because there are other ways to change your status. I'm definitely not the expert. Establish good moral character during the requisite period. Have complied with any reasonable request for help in the investigation. be admissible to the United States, or obtain a waiver of inadmissibility. For more information on green cards, see the green card for a victim of trafficking. Well, but I mean, you're already telling people 5,000 people. So why not just put a great big red bar over it? I mean, who's 5,000 people in America? Come on. Is a victim of trafficking eligible for any services or benefits? The state, basically, what I already know. All they're telling you is you're going to be eligible for all the other benefits that other people are able to get. Let's see. I think this is, I mean, honestly, it's just a lot of show. Let's see what you can, I believe you can get food share if you need it. I think the most important is getting that identification card or driver's license. That's going to be really important. And all the other stuff can come later. This is my opinion. Oh, there's a video. I'm going to click on it and then let's see what it has to say.
Human trafficking is a public health issue that affects children everywhere.
Isn't that a nice little happy video? Okay, I guess I'm going to stop here, you guys. I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.